believe we are live, hopefully. Uh, Seems like it's working, so we'll get you full screen here. Either way, we are coming up on, well, the end of the race, 79 laps out of 125 complete. It should be an exciting finish.
Yeah, that it should be. Ricky Fagone, no longer your race leader. New leader has been Vern Bradley. I tell you what, I think Vern's got a pretty good shot at winning this race. About 45 laps to go this time here.
Yeah, 45
As they'll
laps to
go.
go. Yeah, Vern
Oops.
Bradley in this race lead. Ricky Fagond in second place.
Yeah, Bradley just doing a good job. He caught the lead. And I tell you what, it's going to be hard to get it back from him. He is a driver that once he's out front, good luck reeling him in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed it is. We've seen him gain so much time on, well, just on races consistently, and it's been very impressive. He said he wasn't really going to come back to the league, and has done it indeed, and well, he's showing them why he's won championships in this one.
Yeah, that is for sure. 82 laps into the race here. And Vern is just pulling away, tune of a second and a half. Larry Anderson, though, trying to close in on Ricky Fagone and not having the best time of it. He's kind of stalled out in the middle, it looks like.
Yeah, indeed he has, but well, I think he will have some help, as I believe the 04 car is behind him, just going to try and run his own race. But yes, it's going to be tough to catch that front pack once again.
Yeah, that is for sure. They'll need a caution to make something happen. If they can get one, they might have a chance at making something happen here, but I don't think we're gonna get one. We haven't seen a lot of yellows here tonight. We've seen these guys actually stay pretty consistently clean.
Yeah, indeed, we have, which, I mean, I'm liking it. I like when these classic Darlington races really come down to strategy and come down to fuel mileage, which is something also to think about. Tires and fuel, they will most likely have at least one more pit stop, if I had to guess, and that's going to be key for at least some fuel, or maybe just to get some fresh tires and try something out with the strategy. So that could be an interesting play into this race.
And right now, 86 laps into the race here. And you can see here, you watch Larry Anderson again, just kind of staying where he's been, hasn't gained, hasn't lost. And that's kind of the story of a lot of these drivers. As everyone gets spread out, they neither gain nor lose. And I feel like that's going to be the story of a lot of what we see here tonight for now.
Yeah, indeed. Gaining and losing time, very, it's very tough to do exactly that, to gain. And of course, losing time is kind of the name of this racetrack. You get stuck behind somebody, you're trying to gain positions, gain time, and when you get behind somebody and stuck and trying to pass, it makes it difficult. And then, of course, when you're battling it out, somebody behind you will just gain that time. It's happened constantly. We've seen it tonight as well. So that could play a factor into, well, that top five.
Yeah, that is for sure. 86 laps or 87 laps in. And you notice Ricky Fagone now will be under fire from Larry Anderson as Anderson finally got to a point where he's caught up to him. It looks like the sun is definitely starting to set as well. I don't know if that's just me, but what do you think? You think the sun's going down?
Oh, it definitely is going down. Indeed, it has gotten. Well, wouldn't want to say the track temperature has gotten cooler, but the light has started to basically go away, and so that's a key thing into how these cars could race for the end of the race.
Yeah, track's definitely probably cooled down a little bit. I don't know how dramatically it would go down, but it's definitely probably cooled down more than these drivers would have anticipated it to. I don't think anyone probably expecting this race to come into the evening hours as it had. And luckily, though, not enough laps to go into the nighttime. At least I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think that it has enough laps to really go into the night, but for sure it will most likely when this race ends. We could see some darkness fall around this racetrack. Now, it could also be just a little bit of cloud coverage, and we could see the last of the sun when the race kind of comes to the ending point. And so that's sometimes, excuse me, that does happen.
And right there, 91 laps in at the stripe. So they have got about 35 laps to go here tonight. Ricky Fagone there, second place, trying to gain in. And I don't think that, again, unless we get a caution, I don't think anyone's going to be catching that number 14 car. He is out and away. Or the 114, I should say.
Yeah, exactly. He is out and away, and, well, it's going to be very difficult, but there's still time in this race for him to make a mistake. We haven't seen Vern Bradley make a mistake, but for sure there is still time for something to happen. We could see a late race caution, even though we don't expect it to happen too much, but still a possibility.
Yeah, that is for sure. As we're closing in on just 25 laps to go, Cody McFadden trying to look for a spot here. But I tell you what, if anyone's going to make a pass soon, it's going to be Larry Anderson. He's got a lot more speed than, than it looks like. He's definitely got a fast race car.
Oh, he definitely has a fast race car indeed. Larry Anderson does. And he should be able to make up a couple more positions before the end of this race.
Yeah, I'm sure he will at least get third, potentially even, or well, yeah, he's in third, so at least finish third, I think, and potentially even second place, depending on how he plays the cards. Seems like it's been a very hard track to pass at here tonight.
Definitely has been a very difficult track to pass. I mean, we've seen it where you don't necessarily want to risk it three wide. You get onto the apron of this racetrack, and you can't really make anything happen. As I'm looking at the 14 car, and he almost lost it there, hits the racing wall, but was able to save it. And I believe turns 1 and 2, so a nice job there.
Yeah, without a doubt, he'll get a good run too down the backstretch now as he's all over the back end of Ricky Fagone there. Still not enough to quite make a pass, though, I've noticed.
Yeah, not enough to make a pass, but a nice run nonetheless. And that's something that can really happen as we are watching this battle right now. And a nice job. He just needs to stay behind him. And when will he make the move? Most likely closer to the end of this race, or maybe even now as he turns him.
Trying. And he's right there side by side. He'll fall back off for a moment. He'll fall back off just for the moment, not able to make that pass, of course. But doing what he was doing what he could to make it, and I think now he's going to fall back even more, unfortunately.
Yeah, indeed. And crazy turn of events like we just saw as Ricky Fagone gets turned around and will have to make his gains go. Well, he'll have to gain positions back that he lost.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him to do that. He's now a lap down. You see Larry Anderson tags the wall. And now let Cody get past him there. So 98 laps in, and we're getting ready to have a race here, at least for some of these further back spots.
Yeah, indeed, we are getting ready for some close battles. I mean, they've been close racing all night long. You haven't necessarily thought about it, but there's been battling throughout this race. Even though it's been clean, it's been very impressive.
And right there, you saw one driver dive down pit lane, and I think that might be the start of pit stops. That, of course, was Ricky. And you see Larry Anderson, I think, joining him in the pits.
Yeah, exactly. Very impressive strategy calls. I think that's a perfect time, really, because you have just about 25 laps to go in this race. So it's the right time to head down pit lane and to make sure that maybe you will have something to really just push for in the end of this one.
Yeah, that is for sure. 101 laps in to this race here. Ryan Daniels goes low, as does Steven Blankenship, to let the faster Vern Bradley by.
And I've noticed a lot of drivers doing exactly that. Throughout the whole race, we've seen drivers getting out of the way of race leaders. I only think one time we almost saw an incident throughout this race that I believe made Corey Cook, if I'm not mistaken, lose a couple of positions in this race. But he has gained it back and will have an opportunity to try and, well, hang on to third place.
Yeah, we've only seen a handful of cautions here.
Yeah, indeed, we have been very impressive. And I think we've got ourselves a little bit of a battle. The 61 battling the 14 here. A nice little race going
That's
on.
Jeff Martin. That's Jeff T. Martin.
No, looks like they're heading down into pit lane. And so a nice job from the 61 of keeping that position heading into pits. So, of course, it will be a race off of pit road.
And right there, John Senu staying out. Vern Bradley looks like he's hitting the pits this time. This is an essential, a very important stop for him. If he messes this up, that is his race.
Well, most definitely is Vern Bradley's race. If he messes up, we'll stay on board with him, or we'll stay with his race car throughout this pit stop here as he's able to get into his pit box good. The left sides go up, or the right sides, excuse me, and then the left sides going up now. And off and away. Looks like a clean pit stop. And that's exactly what he needed. Looks like that could have been the race winning strategy right here as he goes off. Just perfect in and out.
Yeah, it's just gonna be the big question here of if they can or I'm sorry, if he can maintain his race lead when he comes back out. I'm inclined to say he will. Of course, that's once Blankenship, McFadden, and Senu pit. But you notice, look how close Richard Holland is. He's not far away. But then again, we only have 20 laps to go here at the stripe.
Yeah, exactly. Only 20 laps to go here at the stripe, but it does look like he does keep his race lead. And Richard Holland will be in second position at the moment. So it will be an interesting battle to continue to watch for.
Yeah, right there, 19 more times around, and Vern Bradley only leads by, what is that, about a second. So he's definitely not having the big lead that he's grown accustomed to, I'd say. You know, his lead was up to around 5 seconds at one point earlier in the night.
Yeah, exactly. So it will be interesting to see how this unfolds. He has had the speed throughout this race to really gain that lead or to take the lead right back to where it was. So it could be a good possibility that we could see him, well, just strengthen that lead. But it doesn't seem like it. Just like you said, he's kind of closing in.
Yeah, that is for sure. 17 laps to go here. Vern Bradley, still second place. Cody, of course, your race leader. And the question is, when do we see Cody pit? He's staying out a lot longer than I thought he would, Jacob.
He could try and stretch it to as long as he could possibly stretch it. It could be to the end of this race. He could have been saving some fuel or pitting and taking a ton of fuel every single stop. So that could be a case of just trying to strategize it big time or also waiting for a caution. That could be a big possibility. We've seen that happen before. Has it played out with other drivers? Not necessarily.
Yeah, right here, 15 more times around. Past Ricky Fagone, he was battling for that same spot earlier in the evening. Unfortunately, fate would have it. But Richard Holland, Richard Holland's there, man. I tell you what, if Cody has to pit, I don't imagine he's able to go all the way, but, say he is. But, if Vern gets that lead back, I don't think Rich is going to hold back. I think Richard Holland might just even have something for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that is a very good possibility that he could have something for him indeed. But who knows what will happen in the long run.
And right there, with 14 to go, he's going to get held up potentially by Ryan Daniels. I know Ryan's going to try and get to the bottom, but he met him at a bad part of that racetrack, met him coming off the corner. So that might let Holland catch up just a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It could help him catch up, but he is also on the low line, kind of battling him out too. So that could be something that might play a factor, able to clear him out just now, but shifts all the way up to the high line.
And you can see 12 laps to go here. Vern Bradley coming up on Hal Amy for position now. And I say for position, really, he just needs to get past him. He's got the gap open to his competitor to about 7/10 of a second. And if Hal can maybe help that gap out somehow, not that he necessarily would, but you can see Hal does get out of the way pretty quickly there for Richard Holland. So not going to be too big of a factor, I think, between him and Bradley with 11 to go. I say the most impressive thing, though, did that 64 pit, or is he making a break till the end?
I think he's making a break to the end. I don't. Either he's pitted and we didn't necessarily notice it, but he's staying out, and that's a big factor into this race.
And 10 laps to go now. And with just 10 to go, Cody McFadden not holding on to that race lead as much as he'd like. He's only got 4/10 of a second, mind you. So one way or another, we're going to have a close finish. Do you think he holds on if he can make it to the end?
Oh, I think he can definitely hold on if he does make it to the end. That's going to be a fantastic finish for him. Now he's probably starting to think, if he doesn't have necessarily enough fuel to the end, he's probably starting to think, okay, I got to save just a little bit to really make this work. But who knows? He could have already saved that amount of fuel, so probably almost trying to push to the end.
Well, I think at this point, with 8 laps to go, you either go to the either way, you don't pit. You either run out of fuel or you make it to the finish. I think now pitting is just shooting himself in the foot. He should not pit under any unless he gets in a crash. And well, it won't be him getting in the crash. Vern Bradley into the inside retaining barrier. Did you see that coming?
Well, I did not see that coming, but I'm glad that we got that on video right there. Very crazy turn of events.
Looks like Vern got arrow loose. He was trying to get to the back end of Corey Cook. I'm looking at it. I know, what I'm looking at, they don't necessarily see, which is different. But, Vern made a little bit of contact with his back bumper and then looked like he got arrow loose to get wrecked round. So I tell you what, man, I could not have predicted that. But that has put Richard Holland in the lead. Look at Cody McFadden. He's got a lot of damage. I think he might have tagged the wall. Richard Holland is the race leader now.
Crazy, crazy turn of events for sure. And, well, that's just basically turn the tables in this race. And you're going to see Richard Holland almost probably take it to the end.
Yeah, well, he's got a 5-second lead with 5 laps to go. I mean, Cody would have to close a second a lap. I don't see that happening realistically.
Yeah, neither do I guess, in the end. But, well, yeah, just a fantastic run from him. He was able to kind of push Vern Bradley almost into a mistake. Vern Bradley, of course, was just trying to get around traffic as fast as possible and try to a point of where he just was a little too aggressive. Just like he said, got arrow loose. It happens on the exit of these corners and paid the price.
Yeah, 4 laps to go. And it's all Richard Holland. Nothing that he needs to do differently here. Just pretty much maintain.
Exactly, maintain for Richard Holland. And he could even kind of coast a couple of times to through the corners just to save a little bit of fuel. Even let Hal Amy by, as Hal Amy's kind of on his bumper because, of course, that's a lap car.
And right now, 2 laps to go at the line. And, I don't think he needs to hold off Hal Amy here. If Hal's faster with that lap car, I'd say let him by. You don't want to jeopardize that race win now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. He's faster, just let him by, but it also seems like that could help him as a little bit of a pick.
Look at Robbie Gordon in real life. He did it at Sonoma. He would have won the race. But he was too busy battling the lap car. So, looks like Hal's faster. I mean, really, final lap now. I just let him go on. Mm-hmm. You're not going to lose anything.
Yeah, the 31 got a good run through turns 1 and 2 on the final lap. So that might be enough to really just give him the space that he needs from Hal Amy. And I think that's going to be just perfect.
Yep. That's Richard Holland's win. There you have it, folks. Richard Holland, victory lane. Larry Anderson, Cody McFadden. 3rd and 4th. Jeff Martin, Corey Cook. And then it'll be Glenn Jameson, John Senu, Ricky Fagone, Ryan Daniels, Adam Tips, Artie Peterson, Steve Blankenship, Jared Cox, Trent Ripley, Hal Amy, Vern Bradley, Steve Seegers, Aiden Young, Leo Lortz, Adam McKinney rounds out your field, and we'll get Richard Holland up here to talk to him winning in what I'm going to call spectacular fashion. Take it away with Richard Holland, Jacob.
Richard Holland, how are you doing?
Pretty damn good.
Well, yeah, how about that race? You're able to survive and win at Darlington. How does this feel?
Actually, it feels pretty good. I don't particularly like this place, and haven't really run very good here in the past, and really haven't run good here all week in practice, but kind of figured it out during practice tonight and ran a bunch of laps, many laps as we could, and really started to come in there during the race and felt pretty good about it.
Yeah, battling out with Vern Bradley at the end. That was a very exciting battle. He came out of pit lane. You were very close behind him. Just take us through, I guess, battling with him.
Yeah, that was exciting actually. I got my blood pumping there, man. My heart racing. I think Vern actually took 2 tires on that previous stop on the caution, and he checked out on those 2 tires, man. That clean air, he was gone. And I think what happened was he missed pit road on his first attempt, so I caught him and we pitted together. I was able to pit with him, and that's what changed the whole perspective. And then we came out together and we kind of ran together, both stayed the same distance apart, about a second or so, and then I kind of reeled him in a little bit, and we were both catching the 64, and I'm not sure what happened, but when he got to the 64's bumper, I don't know what happened, but he got loose and spun, and I don't know what happened to Vern really.
All right, well, how's the car handling for you as well?
Actually, it wasn't that bad. It was a little bit tight in places, a little loose in other places. You just kind of had to pedal it, and it actually didn't feel that bad. Like I say, I'm not a big fan of this track. I'm real excited to get the win, but I don't know, the setup wasn't really terrible.
All right, before we let you go, celebrate any sponsors you'd like to thank or anybody that you like to thank?
I just want to thank everybody here at HJRM Motorsports. I want to thank everybody, Hal, for bringing me on board. Just all my teammates here, everybody that puts work into this every week. We kind of practice together, and anything that we can do as far as what the setup's doing on the long run or fuel mileage or things like that, so I just want to thank my team and you guys for doing the broadcast, and Vern and Tim and Adam and all the guys in the booth there, and I want to thank them guys too for what they do.
All right, well, congratulations on the win. Hopefully we get to talk to you next week as well.
Yeah, hopefully same results, man. Thanks.
All right. And Larry Anderson, unfortunately, not here. And we can't pull up Cody. He's stuck in the K&N lobby. Nation, can you get Cody? Because I think you probably have the role to pull him up.
Cody.
That's the ticket. There we go. Cody, have you got a copy on us?
Yeah.
All right, well, 3rd place here, man. You were racing hard with Vern there, and then a little bit of contact, or I think that was contact with you and Vern. Anyway, how'd that car run for you tonight?
Ran pretty good. I didn't get any practice in, so being up there fighting for the lead at the end there was nice. I don't think I had any contact with Vern. I didn't get a 0x or anything, so I don't know what happened there, but it was just nice to be out here with these guys, and I appreciate them letting me, come in here and run, and hopefully I can get in here a few more times.
Well, how'd that car run for you here tonight, man? You did real well.
Ran good. I really liked, when we could get those longer green runs. The car seemed to work better for me, but it gets real tight there after a while, but I liked the way she handled and able to come home 3rd.
All right, well, anyone you want to thank, sponsors, that kind of thing?
Just you guys here at WFO, you for putting the broadcast on, and just everybody just racing clean out there. It was fun.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us, man. And, of course, from all of us at the American Sim Network, we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We'll see y'all tomorrow night, hopefully tomorrow night, or hopefully Wednesday night. Man, I'm all screwed up because of the days and being this whole, Thursday night, I mean. We'll see you on ASN, hopefully, for Loose Lug Nuts Truck Series. Have a great night, everybody. See you then.